Remember when electric cars were going to take over the world? Like tomorrow? It felt like we were on the brink of a transportation revolution, with promises of cleaner air, quieter streets, and a significant reduction in our carbon footprint. Yeah, me too. We were all ready to trade in our gas guzzlers for sleek, silent machines that ran on good vibes and unicorn tears. The excitement was palpable, and the future seemed just around the corner. Okay, maybe not unicorn tears, but you get the point. The idea was that these electric vehicles, or EVs, would revolutionize the way we think about transportation. They promised a cleaner, greener future, free from the shackles of fossil fuels. Electric vehicles, or EVs, were supposed to be the future. They were the shining beacon of hope in a world increasingly aware of the environmental impact of traditional cars. The vision was clear: a world where every driveway had an electric car and gas stations were relics of a bygone era. So, why are so many people still stuck in the slow lane when it comes to making the switch? Despite the hype and the undeniable benefits, the transition hasn't been as swift or as smooth as many had hoped. Well, it turns out that changing the entire automobile industry is a little more complicated than hitting the gas pedal and hoping for the best. There are numerous challenges, from manufacturing hurdles to infrastructure limitations, that have slowed down the electric revolution. There are some very real speed bumps on the road to an all-electric future. For one, the infrastructure for charging electric vehicles is still catching up. Long lines at charging stations and the fear of running out of battery in remote areas are genuine concerns for potential EV owners. Don't get me wrong, EVs are awesome. They offer a smooth, quiet ride and are packed with the latest technology. The benefits are clear, from lower running costs to reduced emissions. But the road to widespread adoption is fraught with challenges. But between the sticker shock and the fear of running out of juice in the middle of nowhere, it's understandable why some folks are hesitant to ditch their old-school rides just yet. The initial cost of purchasing an electric vehicle can be daunting, and the anxiety of finding a charging station when you need one is a real barrier for many. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Governments around the world are offering incentives to encourage the adoption of electric vehicles. From tax breaks to rebates, these incentives are designed to make the switch more appealing and affordable. Additionally, advancements in battery technology are making electric vehicles more practical. Longer ranges and faster charging times are becoming the norm, addressing some of the biggest concerns potential buyers have. Urban planning is also evolving to accommodate electric vehicles. More community charging stations are being installed, and electric car sharing programs are becoming more popular, making it easier for people to experience the benefits of EVs without the commitment of ownership. The vision of a cleaner, quieter, and more sustainable future is still within reach. It's just taking a bit longer to get there than we initially thought. But with continued innovation and support, the electric revolution is far from over. It's just on hold, waiting for the right moment to truly take off. So, while the revolution might be on hold, it's not cancelled. The journey towards an all-electric future is ongoing, and every step forward brings us closer to that dream. Let's keep pushing, innovating, and believing in the promise of a better tomorrow. Let's be real. Buying a car is a big decision. It's not just about picking a color or a model. It's about making a choice that will impact your daily life for years to come. It's a major purchase, kind of like buying a small house on wheels. You have to consider everything from the initial cost to the long-term maintenance and fuel expenses. But when it comes to EVs, that small house on wheels can feel more like a mansion. The allure of electric vehicles is undeniable: sleek designs, cutting-edge technology, and the promise of a greener future. The upfront cost of an EV is significantly higher than a comparable gasoline-powered car. This sticker shock can be a major hurdle for potential buyers. For example, a brand new electric sedan might set you back around $50,000, which is a hefty sum for most people, while its gas-guzzling cousin could be yours for half the price. This price disparity often makes people hesitate. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Trevor, what about saving money on gas? And you'd be right. The cost of electricity is generally lower than gasoline, and EVs are more efficient. But for many people, that initial price difference is a deal breaker. It's hard to justify spending so much more upfront, even if the long-term savings are substantial. It's like trying to convince someone to buy a $10,000 coffee maker because they'll save money on Starbucks in the long run. The logic is sound, but the initial investment is daunting. And let's not forget, the financial aspect isn't the only consideration. People also worry about the availability of charging stations, the time it takes to charge, and the overall convenience. While the infrastructure for EVs is improving, it's still not as widespread as gas stations. This can be a significant concern for those who travel long distances frequently. So, while the benefits of owning an electric vehicle are clear, lower emissions, reduced fuel costs, and a quieter ride, the initial price tag remains a significant barrier for many. Financing options and government incentives can help, but they don't always bridge the gap enough to make EVs accessible to everyone. Ultimately, the decision to buy an electric vehicle comes down to weighing the long-term benefits against the upfront costs. It's a personal choice that each potential buyer has to make based on their own circumstances and priorities. Okay, so you've taken the plunge and bought an EV. Congratulations, you're officially living in the future. But now you've got a new problem. Where do you charge this thing? Charging an EV is not as simple as pulling into a gas station and filling up your tank. It takes time, and you need access to a charging station. While the number of charging stations is growing, they're still not as ubiquitous as gas stations. This can be a major headache, especially if you're on a road trip. Imagine having to plan your entire vacation around where you can find a charger. And even when you do find one, it might be out of order or already in use. Let's face it, the economy has been doing its best impression of a roller coaster lately. Up one minute, down the next. It's enough to make anyone's head spin. The unpredictability is palpable, and it's affecting everyone from Wall Street to Main Street. Inflation is up, interest rates are through the roof, and everyone's feeling the pinch. The cost of living is skyrocketing, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for families to make ends meet. Every trip to the grocery store or gas station is a reminder of how much prices have surged. In uncertain economic times, people tend to tighten their belts and delay big purchases. Families are sitting around kitchen tables, crunching numbers and making tough decisions about what they can afford. The uncertainty makes it hard to commit to anything that requires a significant financial outlay. And guess what falls into the big purchase category? You got it, electric vehicles. These eco-friendly cars are often seen as the future of transportation, but their higher upfront costs can be a major deterrent for many potential buyers. When money is tight, it's hard to justify spending a premium on a new car, even if it means saving money on gas in the long run. The initial investment can be daunting, and many people are hesitant to take the plunge, especially when their financial future feels uncertain. It's like trying to convince someone to buy a $100 organic avocado when a regular one costs $2. The benefits might be clear, but the price difference is hard to swallow. People are more likely to opt for the cheaper option, even if it means compromising on quality or long-term savings. Sure, the organic one might be slightly better for the planet, but when you're on a budget, sometimes you just got to go with what's affordable. It's a tough balancing act between doing what's best for the environment and what's best for your wallet. And in these challenging economic times, the wallet often wins out. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There are incentives and rebates available that can make electric vehicles more affordable. Governments and organizations are stepping in to help bridge the gap, making it easier for people to make the switch to greener transportation. By taking advantage of these programs, consumers can find ways to offset the higher initial costs. It's about being informed and proactive, seeking out the best deals and opportunities to make a sustainable choice without breaking the bank. In the end, it's a personal decision, weighing the pros and cons, considering the long-term benefits, and finding a balance that works for your financial situation. The economy may be on a wild ride, but with the right information and support, you can navigate it and make choices that are both economically and environmentally sound. Section 5, hybrids, the best of both worlds. Here's the thing, EVs aren't the only game in town anymore. Hybrid vehicles, which combine a gasoline engine with an electric motor, have emerged as a popular alternative. And you know what? They're pretty great. Hybrids offer the fuel efficiency of an electric car without the range anxiety. You get to enjoy the best of both worlds, saving money on gas and not having to worry about getting stranded with a dead battery. Plus, hybrids are generally more affordable than EVs, making them a more attractive option for budget-conscious consumers. Section 6. Range anxiety and other battery fears. One of the biggest hurdles for EVs is something called range anxiety. It's the fear of running out of battery before reaching your destination, and let's be honest, it's a legitimate concern. While EV range has improved significantly in recent years, it still can't match the convenience of a gas car. And then there's the battery itself. EV batteries are expensive to replace, and their lifespan is still a bit of a mystery. Will it last as long as the car itself? Will it need to be replaced after a few years? These are valid questions that potential EV buyers are asking. Section 7. The road ahead, innovation and incentives. Okay, so maybe the road to an all-electric future isn't as smooth as we thought it would be. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. The truth is the EV market is still in its early stages, and there's a lot of room for growth and innovation. Car manufacturers are constantly coming out with new and improved EV models with longer ranges, faster charging times, and more affordable price tags. Governments around the world are also offering incentives to encourage people to make the switch, like tax breaks and subsidies. Section 8. EVs, charged up for the future? So, are EVs dead in the water? Absolutely not. Despite the challenges, the future of electric vehicles is still bright. As technology continues to advance and prices become more competitive, we can expect to see more and more EVs on the road in the years to come. The transition to electric vehicles may not happen overnight, but it's definitely happening. And who knows, maybe one day we'll all be cruising around in our fancy electric cars powered by unicorn tears. Okay, maybe not unicorn tears, but you get the point. Section 9, what do you think? Now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think about the future of electric vehicles? Are you planning on making the switch anytime soon? Let us know in the comments below.